I knew something was wrong the moment she turned her face away. When I leaned in to kiss her, it wasn't just a rejection. It was avoidance, like she couldn't bear my lips even brushing hers. For 15 years, I'd known every little shift in Sarah's moods. The sparkle in her eyes when she was excited, the soft sigh when she was tired. But this was cold, distant. I stepped back, studying her. She sat on the edge of our bed, phone in hand, hair still damp from a shower. The faint scent of citrus shampoo hung in the air, the same one she'd used since college. But now it smelled foreign. "Rough day?" I asked, keeping my tone light. She didn't look up, just tired. I hesitated, then moved closer. "Maybe we could—" "I'm on my period," she cut in, dropping her phone with a thud. I froze. "Oh," I said softly. "All right." It wasn't the first time she'd said it, but the ease with which she said it this time, rehearsed, detached, twisted my stomach. A few months ago, I thought things were fine. We ate dinner together, laughed at stupid TV shows, and even talked about a trip to Italy next spring. Then, almost overnight, she became distant. Conversations shrank to one-word answers. Touches met subtle flinches. Intimacy vanished. At first, I gave her space. Maybe it was work stress, hormones, life. But weeks turned to months, and every attempt to connect, emotionally or physically, hit an invisible wall. I knew there was more. That night, as she turned away from me, pretending to scroll through messages, I asked softly, "When?" She frowned. "When? What? When did it start? When did we stop being us?" I pressed. Her eyes met mine for the first time in days. Cold. Flat. We didn't stop. I did. Her words hit harder than a punch. "Sarah," I whispered. "What are you saying?" She stood, wrapping her robe tighter. "I don't want this anymore. I don't want you anymore." The room fell silent, except for the pounding in my chest. I searched for words, but my mind went blank, static and disbelief. "You don't mean that." I finally said. "You're upset." "I mean every word," she interrupted. "I'm done pretending." My throat went dry. "Pretending what?" "That I still love you." No tears. No trembling. Her voice steady calm, as if she'd practiced this moment endlessly. I just stared, my world collapsing in slow motion. "There's someone else," I said quietly. "Isn't there?" She didn't answer. Her silence was louder than any confession. The next few days were torture. She drifted through the house like a ghost, barely speaking. I stayed calm, hoping this was a phase, that maybe she was overwhelmed or confused. But when she started dressing differently for work, wearing perfume she hadn't touched in years, guarding her phone like it was a vault, I stopped lying to myself. I had to know. One night, after she went to visit a friend, I sat in the dark, replaying every little sign I had ignored. The late nights, the distant smiles, the way she always turned her phone away. At 11:43 p.m., I heard her car pull into the driveway. I peeked through the curtain. She stepped out, laughing softly. Not alone. A man climbed out the passenger side, tall, broad-shouldered, a faint smirk that made my blood boil. He leaned in and kissed her. My wife, like he had every right in the world. And she kissed him back. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, to run outside, to confront them, but I couldn't move. I stood paralyzed as the life I built, the woman I loved, crumbled before me. When she came inside, I was on the couch, staring at the door. Her smile vanished. "Where were you?" she asked. "Out," I said, calm. "With who?" She dropped her bag, avoiding my eyes. "Don't do this, Mark." "You mean don't ask why another man just kissed my wife in our driveway?" Her head snapped up. "You were spying on me. I watched you betray me." I snapped. For a second, her mask slipped. Guilt flashed across her face. Then she straightened, defiant. "I'm not going to apologize for wanting to feel alive again." "Alive," I repeated, stunned. "We built a life together. Sarah, a home plans everything." "You built it," she said coldly. "I just lived in it." I felt like I'd been stabbed repeatedly. I took a shaky breath. "How long?" She crossed her arms. Does it matter? Yes, I said quietly. It does. Her silence told me everything. Months, maybe longer. The next few days blurred. I went to work, pretending to be fine. Came home to a house filled with silence. She had moved to the guest room. One evening, I found her in the kitchen, packing. I'm leaving tomorrow, she said flatly. I'll stay with him for a while. My hands clenched. You're throwing away 15 years for a man you barely know. I know him better than I've known you in a long time, she replied, zipping her bag. I laughed bitterly. Then I hope he's worth losing everything for. She looked at me for the first time in days. He already is. That was it. The final nail in the coffin. She left the next morning. No goodbye. No second thoughts. Just gone. The house felt hollow. The silence screamed. Everywhere I looked, there were remnants of her. Her favorite mug, slippers by the door, the anniversary trip photo. I should have thrown them out. I couldn't. Not yet. Weeks passed. The pain didn't fade. It shifted. Shock turned into anger. Anger into emptiness. I stopped checking her social media. Stopped hoping she'd call. Then, 2 months later, she did. Mark, can we talk? Her voice was shaky. I hesitated. Why now? Please, she said softly. Just 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I agreed. When she arrived, she looked different. Tired. Thinner. Confidence replaced with unease. It didn't work out, she admitted, sitting on the couch. He wasn't who I thought he was. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. And now what? You want me to say I told you so? She shook her head. No, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I studied her, searching for sincerity. Sorry for what? For lying? For breaking me? For replacing me before I even knew I was being replaced. Her eyes welled with tears. I don't expect forgiveness. I just realized what I lost. Sarah, I said quietly, you didn't lose me. You threw me away. She flinched, looking down. I gave you everything, my time, my trust, my loyalty. You didn't fall out of love. You fell into selfishness. And now you want closure. Her lips trembled. I made a mistake. No, I said coldly. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What you did was a choice. She stood, tears streaming. I know. A long silence followed. Then she whispered, I miss you. I shook my head. You missed the man who loved you without question. That man doesn't exist anymore. She reached out, but I stepped back. Goodbye, Sarah. That night, I sat alone on the couch where she once confessed a betrayal. But this time, the silence felt different. Peaceful. For the first time in months, I felt neither anger nor sadness, only clarity. I realized I had spent years clinging to the version of her I wanted to believe in. The woman who smiled in the kitchen on Sunday mornings, danced barefoot to old songs, who said I was her home. That woman had been gone long before she said, never with you again. So I made a promise. No more waiting for ghosts. No more mourning someone who left willingly. The next morning, I packed the last of her things into a box, drove to her apartment, and left it at her door. No note, no anger, just silence. The kind that says everything words cannot. When I drove away, the weight lifted. For the first time, I didn't look back. Because sometimes the hardest truth isn't in a single moment. Love doesn't die instantly. It withers slowly, buried beneath lies, silence, and a final, firm never. And once you accept that, you stop bleeding from the wounds they left and start healing from the person you were before they made you hurt.